The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, known as HUD, of course, says it plans to release disaster relief funds faster.
KCRG TV 9's Jackson Valenti talked to Iowa's HUD administrator and joins us now live in the studio. Jackson?
Beth, we often hear about FEMA providing disaster relief shortly after big events like the '08 flood or the 2020 derecho in eastern Iowa, but it's HUD that steps in after that to help fund the rebuilding of destroyed buildings and houses. HUD gives federal dollars to disaster relief efforts through what's called the Community Development Block Grant. That's what gave hundreds of millions of dollars for Cedar Rapids to rebuild after the 2008 flood. HUD Regional Administrator Joe Mitchell says the funding works, but he says in some cases it's distributed too slowly.
Governing from D.C. doesn't work a lot of times, and handing money out from D.C. So if you can give it to the more local folks, they're going to know who the contractors are. They're going to know who the developers are. They're going to know who can get the job done and get the housing units up as quickly as possible.
Mitchell met with Cedar Rapids leaders this afternoon to take a tour of some of the housing projects HUD is funding for after the '08 flood and the 2020 derecho. City officials didn't allow TV9 to join on that tour. Mitchell told me he and city leaders specifically discussed funding for programs to build new homes for low-income families that are displaced by disasters. He says if local groups can get that money faster, it speeds up recovery efforts and keeps people from then leaving the city. In the studio, Jackson Valenti, KCRG TV 9 News.